I'd like to call this meeting of the Bethel Selectmen on January 7th at 6 p.m. at 2019. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
So first order of business is a citizen forum. Does anyone have anything that's not on the agenda they'd like to mention before we start in?
Yeah, I'm just, can you give us an update on the status where the ordinance committee is in reviewing the recreational ordinances that was given to them in November?
I believe they've just started.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's, as far as I know, Sarah is putting together an agenda. I don't have a date.
That's Sarah Tucker.
Okay.
But I believe they're just beginning. All right, approval of minutes. December 6th and December 10th.
I make a motion to approve the minutes from December 6th and December 12th.
A second.
All those in favor? All right, at this time, I'd like to open a public hearing on an extension of the moratorium on registered caregiver retail stores. So the basic, in June this year, I believe, June of last year, we put a moratorium on the town providing any approval for retail establishments storefronts selling medical marijuana, pending the Maine legislature giving us clearer legislation, and to my understanding that has not happened yet. So I believe well, anyway, that's what I'd like to open a public hearing to discuss that.
Actually, that has happened on December 13th. Hang on, so bear with me here. Public Law, Chapter 452, HP 106, LD 159 went into effect. Under the caregiver retail store, no one can operate one in, same thing as the medical. You can't operate one in this town until you guys come up with an ordinance for it. So there's no reason for a moratorium at all.
My understanding was they hadn't had all their regulations set.
I've got them right here.
They do. See, they.
I'll read it to you.
I will know. Probably I don't want to.
I'll read it to you.
But whom I got my information from.
So it's an opt-in situation like the recreational marijuana.
Yeah, it's the same. Municipal let's see, page 50. Municipal authorization needed. Authorized registered caregiver retail stores, registered dispensaries, marijuana testing facilities, and manufacturing facilities that are not operating on the effective date of this section to operate in the municipality unless the municipal legislative body is defined in Title 30A, Section 2001, subsection 6, has voted to adapt or amend an ordinance or approve a warrant article allowing registered caregiver retail stores, registered dispensaries, marijuana testing facilities, or marijuana manufacturing facilities as applicable to operate within the municipality. So no one can operate here unless you guys, unless we have an ordinance on it, as far as a retail store.
Right.
Okay. Now that we're on the subject, I've got, that's going to require an ordinance, right?
Right.
And I believe the marijuana committee was tasked with coming up with the medical ordinance.
Right. Not yet by us, that I know.
They were when Christine was up here. We can look back at the minutes, but she tasked them with coming up with the ordinance for the.
Yeah, I'll have to go back and look at it.
Yeah, they did. So I mean, that's something they should probably get going on so we can vote on that in June also. But they were tasked with that task from this board here. I'm serious.
Oh, he's correct.
I am correct.
I'm not. I won't argue that.
That was one of the four?
No, it's totally different.
It was a fifth
totally
one
different,
added.
but she did give him that task.
Huh.
at a selectmen's meeting. I believe Jules probably has that on tape, but, another kind of concern I got too is you can't do anything about caregivers operating off their own property. Somehow, someone has to come up with a clear definition of what is a retail store.
I agree.
All us caregivers have sales tax licenses. We sell to our patients out of our houses. I permitted to build a, I call it an office, in my barn. It's almost complete. That's where I serve my patients. I have a retail sales tax license. So a retail store, I mean, is it in a commercial facility? Is
Right.
it downtown? I mean, you gotta define it because it excludes caregivers operating out of their property. So there's gotta be a clear definition in there.
I believe you're right. Go ahead.
I can't recall exactly, but I was a former member of that committee. I don't recall them giving that task way back at the beginning.
No, it wasn't at the
It
beginning.
may have happened since I got
It might
off the
have,
committee.
yeah.
But it would seem to me it's in the best interest of the town to continue the moratorium because there's nothing to lose by doing it. And it makes sense to have it until the town gets its ducks in a row as far as what goes and what doesn't and whether we're gonna be a full-blown pot town or not. And I think it would be in the best interest of the town to slow things down and continue that moratorium.
All right. Any other comments?
You didn't put a moratorium on the recreational because of the law. Because the state already did it. The state has a moratorium on medical caregiver storefronts in this town, in the whole state,
Right.
without an ordinance. So there is no, it's useless.
Okay. I'd like to close the public hearing and go to the select board. What are your, let's see, where's the show up here? Yeah. What are your thoughts on extending the moratorium, not extending the moratorium?
My opinion is that we extend it. I don't see that there's a, if you do or you don't, what's the difference? If it's here, I think people would feel better, general public, if we continued on and got to the point where we had our ordinances reviewed and in place, and that's going to happen roughly 180 days from now, so.
I agree with that. I mean, I'm sure he's right, but, or at least extend it until we can confirm what's being said. I'm sure, like I said, it's not that I don't trust you, I'm sure that you're probably right, but.
I got no problem with you putting it on, because it doesn't do anything.
Right.
Exactly.
My issue is, the marijuana committee was tasked with coming up with a moratorium for the ordinances of this year. And this probably should be voted on at the same time the rec is. We should be ready to go. You know, if you throw the ordinance on, and everyone thinks, oh, we got 180 days before it expires, whatever, but the committee, for them to do this, it's basically the same as a recreational retail storefront. It's the same thing. I mean, they could have it done in 2 days and to the ordinance committee.
Right.
But they need to get after it.
Right. Anything else, Lloyd?
I agree.
Comments, Lori?
I don't think it should be for more than 6 months,
I think it's only
180 days. Okay.
That's all we
So
can do.
that's all we can do?
Yeah.
Well, I think that's reasonable, 180 days, and that way there it gives us time to get some answers and.
All right, in that case, we'll need a motion.
I make a motion that we extend the moratorium on caregiver retail stores.
I'll second that.
All those in favor? All right, so that's set for now for whatever that's. Okay, oh yeah. Yeah, we're gonna have to get a definition of retail All right, moving on, committee appointments. A bunch of those.
These were on this spreadsheet, these are all the vacancies, these are the applicants, and these are the incumbents. That's just for reference.
On the first one, Bingham Forest Advisory, I spoke with,
Yeah, Andrew.
Andrew this evening. He was planning to apply for this. He can't get to his documents because they're on his federal computer that
Oh,
he's in shutdown. So I'd like to put that first, the Bingham Forest Advisory position until, he was one of the original members of that committee. And I feel that he's the assistant administrator for the Umbagog Wildlife Refuge, and I think he'd be a really important person to have on that advisory.
Can you take comments from the public? Sure. In light of what you just said, and I took a look at that spreadsheet, and it doesn't look like there are many applicants for a lot of the positions. It looks like it's pretty thin. And in light of what happened with the park committee, where it was overwhelmingly one-sided, it would seem to me that the Board of Selectmen might want to consider opening up the applications for a longer period of time to encourage more applicants to apply, to get to ensure that you get a balanced committee on whatever committee it is. There's a danger in people getting on a committee and having the committee so lopsided that it almost doesn't make sense to serve on it if you disagree with them.
Mm-hmm.
So I would wonder or suggest that perhaps you extend the application period for a month maybe to try to get more applicants to apply so that you have a better choice or a more varied choice.
Right. No, I would like to see more applicants for some of these positions. But I'm not sure, what is our timing and cutoffs for applications?
we usually have to advertise in the paper for 2 weeks, but this is the second cycle that I've done these.
Right.
So I mean,
We
they've already
did
been
some
out
last
there,
month
they've
as
been
well.
out there for like over a month now.
Is there a
Since the beginning.
deadline for filling these?
Usually when I advertise in the paper, I give the Wednesday before the selectmen's meeting as a deadline.
But I mean,
So we've been
overall,
kind of rolling
If
on
we
a lot
don't
of
have
these.
applicants, I just do it again. And
Yeah,
put
so
it
it's
in the
not
paper
a
again.
strict cutoff. It's,
so you could extend it, you're
we've effectively
at your
extended
will.
it. Yeah, we've effectively extended it so that we can get people to fill all the spots.
I personally, I'm kind of with Rick on this, I'm, you know, you're looking down here and you got three applicants for a lot of stuff here.
Yeah.
And I certainly realize we've done it a couple times here already, but we have the press with us here tonight, so possibly we can get
Hi,
some
Sam.
real input here into big black letters on the front page or something.
I
We
would,
need help.
I think she's already gone through a routine. I think she's extended it. And I think what Rick's point is here, he's trying to get somebody in there on his side or whatever. I mean, I think there's a rule, there's a
Well, I
way that
think-
she's been doing stuff. How many slots are open? I'm just,
This is
12.
Conservation Commission, yeah, there's a bunch of slots on all sorts of committees that are open.
what's all the committees that are open?
Appeals Board, Rec Board, Bingham Forest Authority, Advisory, Conservation Commission, Ordinance Review Committee, Planning Board.
So you need more applicants anyways.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not that we're excluding applicants at this point,
No,
but I understand what you're saying. Yeah,
I have no hidden agenda there. It's simply getting a pool of good applicants for you folks to choose
yeah,
from.
I think part of the issue, in addition to the timing, or more important than the timing, I don't think that's limiting us right now, I think is figuring out perhaps a more effective way of getting the word out and recruiting for these positions. and that's tricky, but
Now,
not impossible.
as far as the ordinance committee, they've got a couple tasks to do. Are they full now, that they can complete that, or do
Yeah.
you need more people?
No, they're not.
They're not full,
So
but
that's not
they're
some-
not full, but they've got enough that they can,
They've got enough so
they're not stopped.
They don't, okay, just as long as they're, June comes up quick.
I'm not on social media, but are there any other ways besides the newspaper that you can
It's on our
get to
website.
people?
It's on
Can
our
you,
website.
How
what
on
about
Team
the
Bethel?
chamber website or
We
the
can post
Team
on
Bethel
citizens
site?
website, Facebook page too, we can always advertise for that, I don't see why not. And Team
I
Bethel.
mean, it seems like everyone I know is like, their news comes from Facebook. And I'm out
If you
of the
posted it on
loop, so.
Team Bethel, you can hit the whole town,
I tell you what,
the
Yeah.
whole town.
Yeah,
One swipe.
We'll try that someday and.
Yeah.
well, I mean, there's
We
just,
may get more than we, I'm not.
Yeah, you're gonna be
we may
fighting,
get
people are gonna be
comments
fighting.
that we
Well, I
don't
mean, I
want.
think the other piece that is part of the process is actually filling out the application.
Right.
And I'm guessing that sometime in the not too distant future, we're gonna wanna move these applications, I would say, in addition onto so you can fill them out on the internet.
You can.
Oh, you
You
can?
can on our website.
All right, yeah, I think I've seen those before.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
so everyone that would know is directed that they could do that? I mean, I just, I mean, if you did put it on Team Bethel or the chamber site or, I don't know, it just seems like that's what,
Yeah.
Everyone
There's other
does.
ways we could advertise.
I just had a quick question, when does the, budget committee meet? She was
In March.
supposed to be on that, and we
I've been
didn't,
watching
yeah,
it
we didn't
since.
know when that was, so we just needed an idea. It's in March?
It's in
Okay.
March.
Okay.
All right,
It's in March.
Too much.
so it looks like for the rest of the positions that we have people for, we have Sarah Southam for the Conservation Commission, Jim Bennett's applied for the Ordinance Review Committee, and Sherry Thurston has applied for the Planning Board. Any motions on those?
Well, except for the Bingham Forest one that you want to hold off on.
Yeah.
The other ones are fine, as I'm concerned.
we don't have any applicants for the Bingham Forest, do
Jim
Yeah,
Bennett.
Jim Bennett.
Jim Bennett.
Oh,
Is it-
we have two. We have
Is there
one-
only one opening on that?
No,
we have
there's
a 1
two.
3-year term and a 1 2-year term.
Right, we reappointed Brett Angevine last meeting.
Yeah, but that was taken off here.
Right.
These are still openings.
We have 2 openings on the Bingham Forest.
Right.
1 3-year and 1 2-year.
So even if we appoint everyone here, there's still an opening there.
There's still an opening. Yeah, right.
You can move that, you can move Jim down to the 1 2 year. Wait for Ian for the 1 2 year if you want.
Yeah, what do people want to do?
It doesn't matter to me.
Move Jim down and
All right,
leave the opening for the other guy.
I'll make a motion that we appoint Jim Bennett to Bingham Forest Authority for a 2-year term, Sarah Southam to the Conservation Commission for a 3-year term, Jim Bennett to the Cloud Review for a 1-year term, and Sherry Thurston to the Planning Board for a 3-year term.
I'll second them.
all right, any further discussion? I don't know if I can vote on this. Can I vote on my way?
I don't know if
I
you
guess
get it up.
I guess it doesn't benefit me in any way financially. So.
Right.
All right, all those in favor? All right.
I'm not in favor, again, I just feel as though, that nothing against anybody here, I just feel as though we somehow, maybe simply by me being obstinate, there will be a little coverage on that, just because.
You'd like to see,
Couldn't we make a decision to, in the future, to open it for a 4-week period instead of a 2 week, so we're not rolling over as much?
You can, but these have been advertised for
Right,
probably
yeah, I know,
6
in
weeks
this, in
now.
this case, we can kind of cover that, but
Yeah.
just,
Yeah, I think we need to figure out better ways to get people interested in applying for these committees. I'm not sure it's a timing issue. I mean, we should be aware of the timing issue, but I don't think that's it in this case. Because I know, yeah, at least one of these people I had to remind.
Yeah, I guess
Well,
exactly.
my usual incumbents always get a letter from me with an application in it,
Yeah.
saying, hey, your term's about to expire, here's an application for you to fill out and send it back in.
so that was 4-1.
Yes.
So, next on the agenda is to approve a list of properties to send to the fiscal year 2017 foreclosure. I think that list is here.
This is, I bring it here every year just in case you see something on here that you don't want me to send. I don't have anything to point out, so.
Have any of these people made any more payments?
I got one today on one of them. Didn't pay it in full, but paid most of it.
Okay.
And at this point, this is just the beginning of a longer process.
No, this is the end
This is
of the
the end.
process. So Monday, I will send them all a notice saying if you don't pay this tax bill in 45 days, the town will foreclose on the property.
Okay.
So
And I
yeah,
think,
45.
February 25th.
Loretta, I believe in the very recent past, Christine had worked to, and Jim had worked to develop payment plans.
Yeah,
for-
she's
for
left me
folks,
a folder,
so that
I saw.
there's still,
Yeah.
again, we don't want to own these properties.
Right.
We want them to pay their taxes. Yeah, if we can set up reasonable payment plans to get that done, that'd be great.
And usually once I send the notice, that will come a phone call.
Right. All right. Motion on the.
So I make the motion to approve the list of properties to send to FY 2017 foreclosure.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? All right. All right, that brings us to the report of the town clerk.
All I had was the foreclosure list. I'm all set. Thank you.
Thanks. And report of the town manager.
Well, I left on David's progress on the internal financial control system document. We did send that to the auditor, Amy forwarded it to him. We haven't heard back anything yet.
And is that ostensibly the last piece?
No.
No. Okay. Just checking.
Yeah. He's, what did he say, 75% done. He's not real prompt.
I thought we were going to do something about that.
Yeah, well, we have 1 year left in the contract with this auditor.
Oh,
So either we need to say, no, we want to break that contract, which we could do, or, and we also need to start looking, if we decide that this is not the thing, then we really need to start looking for a new auditor, either for when this contract ends or earlier, if we feel.
Yeah, we have to get an RFP going for a new
Right,
auditor.
right. Yeah, we have to send it out to bid.
oh, okay.
Do we feel as though this is someone being slack, if you will, on this, or is it their opinion that the way we do things is somehow holding him up or something?
My opinion, from the hunters that I've asked, it's this guy. It's not how you do things here. I mean, we had Trio, and I never had any of these issues. I think it's him. He doesn't know our Trio system. So when he's asking for stuff, you know, Amy tears her hair out trying to figure out what he wants. And then she sends it to him, and he's not good at his paper trails.
Yeah, no,
One for change.
I've talked to David and
Yeah.
Christine, and
Yeah.
it seems like there's a pretty unanimous feeling that this guy might not, this group might not be the group.
And I haven't seen the contract or anything, so I don't know how it's worded or, yeah. And we're still waiting on the agreement for the water district. David misplaced it, so they're supposed to get us a new one,
Okay.
new signatures.
David misplaced it?
He says, I think I misplaced it, so I went through his recycling bin, but I couldn't find it. And then my next thing is the time clock. We have this great time clock in here, and for when we had to clock in when we came to work, which was great. I used it when I was deputy clerk, Christie uses it, and Sarah.
That's it?
That's it. And then, so I kind of talked to Scott Sumner a little bit about it, because I know they use it over there. And I know the guys don't use it when they get called in for school. And I said, do you find it valuable? Because we all fill out paper timesheets anyway.
Uh-huh.
In my opinion, I think this time clock really isn't worth our $39.
$39 a month.
Yes. I mean, I know it's not big money, but I just think for as few people that use it.
Right, so it's a punch, it's an old fashioned.
No, it's
No.
you get a code or your thumbprint or whatever, and they use it at the treatment plant also.
They do.
But they also do a paper time card too.
And is it $39 to run the whole system for the town per month, or is it $39 per installation?
I believe it's for the whole town.
Yeah, that's-
So they do a paper they do a paper.
We do a timesheet and we sign the bottom.
The problem is, there's Scott Sumner, I'll use Scott Sumner for example, because he has the most employees in his department. He would have to go in daily and say, okay, so-and-so missed this time, he was sick, or he missed, it doesn't keep track of those things unless you manually input that. That's why we keep a paper.
Keep a paper trail. Yeah.
Right, because when I do payroll, I have to log sick, vacation, all that time into the payroll system.
Right.
So the time clock doesn't do that unless you manually go in to every employee and do it. So,
So it sounds like it's a little outdated for you anyways.
I personally don't think it serves its purpose, but that's just my opinion, so.
So we should probably go back around and just touch base and make sure Scott feels that way and that the sewage treatment plant feels that way. And
Yeah, the only one I didn't talk to was Rick.
Yeah.
There's online options too, that you can do.
There is,
Which would work
we've
better
talked
for
with the payroll
highway
company about
department or
that
something.
also.
Yeah, we started doing that. It works okay for us, but it might work okay for, you can use your smartphone or something to punch in, or so when you're a plow guy and you get called in at 2 o'clock in the morning, you know, I see these guys, some of them take their trucks home, I think, when they're in the middle of a storm or something, so. Maybe not, but.
No,
I don't think they do.
So they always go to the town garage anyways?
yeah.
Okay. And Scott's salaried, right?
No,
He's hourly,
I don't know.
so it might work for him all right, but, because I know he does. But.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, so we should just check with all the different
okay,
department heads and make sure that we're getting everything.
yeah.
And
I,
look at the options.
yeah, I mean, I personally think the timesheet that we use, if you sign the bottom, is more legit than punching that time clock. Because if somebody could go in and change my time.
Right, all right, thank you. Select
Review.
Yeah, I think I'll have to go. So, selectmen's concerns, comments, ideas, goals?
I guess not. I guess we're all set.
It's not-
It's a quiet group.
It is the first meeting of the year. It's gonna take us a while to get warmed up.
Yeah, huh?
All right, approval of disbursements.
I make a motion to approve journals 2019-321 and warrants 2019-23, 24, 25, 26, and 27.
I'll second those.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? I believe we do not have an executive session this evening. All right, well, that'll be a new record.
Motion to adjourn.
All those in favor? All right, thank you all.